What is up, world? Welcome to Apocaflix Now, the movie hangout show from Apocaflix Movies. I am your host, Jacob Bartley, and we almost got a full house here tonight, just waiting on Keith Barnes. But until then, you have myself, you have Jake Berlin, you have Brian Avellino, and Gio Ramos. What is up, guys?
Surviving. A long weekend.
Yeah, but you say that like it's a bad thing. It's about to be the best weekend of your life, Gio.
It is going to be a long weekend. We got, the DC fandom going on. We got a couple fantasy drafts going on. It's going to be fun. And I feel like, we're going to talk about our DC stuff, but I feel like, it's the closest to like waking up in the morning and going and covering Comic-Con. It's like, it kind of has that kind of feeling, but except it's all a virtual feeling. So we'll talk about that in a little bit here. But before we get to all the fun stuff, why don't you tell them about something else fun, Gio, our podcasts?
Absolutely. So you guys can not only find us on YouTube, but we have audio podcasts on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, Google Play, anywhere you listen to podcasts, Pocket Casts. We encourage you guys to go check us out. You can still do that when you're on the go or, can't necessarily watch a YouTube screen or something. Not only that, we also encourage you guys to subscribe and interact with us via giving us a like or leaving a comment what you thought about the episode. So we do appreciate that. That kind of interaction gives us more exposure to the podcasting world, and our goal is to be up there and to interact with a lot more of you guys. So please do check us out.
Please do that. And yes, so for those of you who watch Apocaflix Now regularly, you know what our movie watching challenge is. Basically the segment where we challenge each other to watch movies every week. At least one of us gets challenged to watch a movie that is chosen by the other four, and then you, the viewers, select which movie that person is watching. And Keith is in the house. What's up, Keith?
What's happening? What's going on, guys?
Not much, man. Glad to have you here. We got the whole 5-man crew. Lucky you guys. Yes. So like I said, you guys choose what movies we watch now on the movie watching challenge. So Brian was chosen last week, or he was chosen on Tuesday, and we chose 4 movies. So we are going to reveal what that movie is. And Brian doesn't know either. I don't know. I think Jake's the only one who knows. I haven't seen the full.
I honestly forgot that this was going on, so I haven't checked it, so I don't even have the slightest.
Well, that's good and bad.
Why is that bad?
Because you forgot about our part of our show, but it's good, so you can be surprised.
No, if I'm gonna forget something, this was the perfect time to forget, because now I get to be excited about what I'm gonna watch.
No, I'm just giving you a hard time. So what do we have for Mr. Avellino this time around?
So I had mentioned last week how we did the YouTube. We usually do the YouTube poll, and a lot of people give us, thank you for everyone who votes on the YouTube poll, obviously. But I've been testing out our other social medias for a Twitter poll and then Facebook comments. And this week, we actually got a lot of response from not just Twitter, but also Facebook. A lot of people were interacting on the Facebook page, which was great. And so I had to pull some math in my own head as far as counting numbers and percentages and stuff. And so with all of the votes in mind, even though, the YouTube poll doesn't say it all, because it actually became a very close race at the end with the other social media votes. But the movie that Brian... But hey, I got to lead it in to make sure people know that they can vote everywhere.
This reminds me of
they can vote everywhere.
Of my staff.
The movie that Mr. Brian will be watching, and Mr. Keith will be very happy, it is Groundhog Day.
There we go. Nice.
That was the one that I kept seeing everywhere. That the tweets and all that stuff, that was the one that I kept popping up and seeing the most.
Yeah, and so just to give a little background, Groundhog Day won the YouTube poll. Funny enough, Eurotrip won the Facebook poll.
Wow.
Which made it very close, and Castaway was a mixture in between them all. And Birdman was in second in the YouTube poll, but it really fell off in the other social media polls. And so it became very close, but it was a it was an overwhelming favorite for Groundhog Day. I want to say it was close to like 50% of the votes.
Well, that's not a bad choice. I don't know if you saw, Jake, but we talked about, we had Brian guess who chose which movie, and the viewers were so upset because they wanted to hear the answers, but we couldn't give the answers because
maybe that's something we do in the future. And I know Starger just asked as well. I mean, we keep it a secret because it's not movies that we can challenge.
Look,
How
we
about this?
teased them. We
You guys
teased
can
them
do
so
it.
bad. I think we should tell them this. How
about this?
I mean, if we really wanted to, we could kick Brian out right now.
Kick me out. That's fine.
And tell the viewers.
I promise.
Brian, fully remove yourself from the string and then bring yourself back in like 30 seconds.
All right.
Okay,
so
Jacob, go ahead. Which movie did you?
Obviously, Keith chose Groundhog's Day because you said it. But yeah, I chose Castaway because I love Castaway. I think it's an all-time great, and I'm so shocked he hasn't seen it.
And I chose Euro Trip. He guessed that. So, and then obviously Gio, you picked
Birdman.
Yeah. And Euro Trip is totally a Brian movie. I can't wait for him to watch that one day.
Yeah, and I think that's a movie we do a watch along for, though. Personally,
yeah, I'm down.
We'll see.
He would love that.
But yeah.
Hopefully Brian comes back soon.
I told him 30 seconds, so hopefully he knows how to count.
He's gonna take a break.
Do you remember what he said? I think he thought that Castaway was me.
Yeah, he got it wrong. He got it 50-50. He got 2 right and 2 wrong.
Yeah.
Jacob, I think he said you did Birdman, right?
Yeah, I think he did.
I think he did say that. Yeah.
Yeah,
which he wouldn't have been enough off because I love Castaway, so I actually wanted him to watch that. To be honest,
that would make sense. You know, I would have been cool with either of these choices. They were all either of them I would have been happy with for sure. So yeah, so
he clearly doesn't know how to count, guys. He clearly doesn't know how to count.
So well, I guess Brian's gonna watch Groundhog's Day. So
here
he is.
Here we go.
Hey, Brian. Okay,
that was more than 30 seconds, but it's okay.
I wanted to be sure.
Outside of that, I think your mic changed.
Yeah, switch your mic. Switch your mic.
But are you excited to watch Groundhog's Day, Brian?
Do I sound better now?
Yes.
Yes.
You guys sound worse. But yes, no. I mean, I was excited to watch any of them. Honestly, they were all good choices. Yeah, I was ready for any of them, to be completely honest.
Nice.
And also to add, the movie is available on Netflix. So there you go.
Yay, free.
Perfect. Okay, so the most I can say about this next subject is that you guys know the DC Fandom is this weekend or tomorrow, Saturday, August 22nd. And we're going to be covering it to the best of our availability live and on this YouTube channel. But I want to revert to Gio and Jake to tell the viewers exactly what we're going to be doing tomorrow regarding this event.
Go ahead, Jake.
So I'll once I announce the schedule, I'll revert to Gio. But we do have an official schedule up, and I'll put the image up right here. These are the ones that we'll specifically be covering. We're still figuring out the Aquaman and Shazam one, and the reason why is because out of all of the panels that are happening tomorrow at DC Fandom, these are the ones that have like the hard-hitting official stuff coming from the movies that we know of. Of course, if we have the opportunity to cover stuff like Aquaman and Shazam, we will do it. But we know it's official. Wonder Woman is getting an official trailer. We have all of this news coming out from Flash, obviously. So we got to make sure we're covering that. Suicide Squad is the longest panel of the entire day, which means that they're more than likely going to be dropping a trailer, and the entire cast is going to be on there. Of course, Snyder Cut, duh. We get to see our first official look at Black Adam with The Rock and maybe a possible announcement of Henry Cavill on there. And then obviously the Batman, and they've been teasing stuff for that movie throughout the week. Probably a first official look of Robert Pattinson in the suit, and maybe even a teaser because they have been shooting for a while. And especially with COVID and the movie being pushed back, there's a chance they could have done the James Gunn effect to Comic-Con and put together a very quick teaser for fans, which we could possibly be seeing. So, but like I said, we may very well fit in the Aquaman and Shazam one in there, but for sure, officially, these are the ones that we'll be live on. We're only going to be live for the panel because we have to go from panel to panel. And you see the times there, that's 5 minutes before the panels actually start. And so the Wonder Woman starts at 10 a.m. We're starting at 9:55 to kind of get a little preview, get set up, and then we'll be going throughout the panel. And then as soon as the panel ends, we'll probably finish up like 10, 15 seconds right afterwards because we have to jump to the next one right away. And so, Gio, thoughts on this one? You're going to be heading this the entire day. You're going to be on every single video. We'll be fluttering in and out with you. And so just thoughts on what's going to go down tomorrow.
Yeah, all of a sudden that Flash panel is 10 times more anticipated than it was 2 days ago, honestly. So that's a big one right there. Also, keep your eye on the DC Comics surprise panel. I believe that's right after the Snyder Cut. My prediction on that panel is looking a lot more good now than it was 48 hours ago. But overall, I agree with you, Jake. I think these are the major ones. You're going to get trailers. You're going to get first looks. And so, let's give our reactions and have a fun day of a whole lot of DC content.
Yeah, everything's going to be live, too. You guys may wonder if they're pre-recorded or anything. Everything is going to be straight live. You're going to see a lot of live videos on the channel tomorrow. And you'll see a lot of faces popping in and out, which will be a lot of fun. And so come hang out. I'll make sure the schedule is up on our Twitter page so you know. But if you're subscribed here, if you follow, you should get that notification. Hit that bell, and you'll know exactly when we go live.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, and so and like I mentioned, if some of the panels are 10 minutes, that means our video is going to be 10 minutes. If the Suicide Squad 30 minutes, that means our video is going to be 30 minutes. We're going to run with the panels. And so that way we make sure we give ourselves times to breathe before the next one. But it should definitely be fun. And like I mentioned, Gio's going to be heading it all. And then we'll all be popping in other panels when we are available. So,
and I would assume probably there's a good chance that Tuesday we're going to break it all down.
Yeah, Tuesday Newsday is definitely going to be DC fandom focused on what we have learned and new looks and all that type of stuff. So yes, that next Tuesdays now will definitely be another DC fandom focused if we have not learned any other news at that point.
We have not one, but 2 days of DC coming up.
I mean, 3 really. We just covered it we did it on Tuesday as well. So
That's
like
right.
3 in 1 week basically. And that makes sense because like Tuesday, well, we're going to dive in deep on Tuesday and have some time to like let it settle in. So that makes a lot of sense.
Can I ask everyone out of curiosity what panel they're looking forward to the most?
Man, so it was
Gio's like
mine was the Batman, but now it's probably Flash, to be honest.
So Keith Batman, Gio Flash, or excuse me, Jacob Flash. Anyone else?
Suicide Squad.
That's mine. Suicide Squad. Gio?
It's a toss-up between Snyder Cut and Black Adam because I
thought you might say
think
Black.
We're gonna get a look at the Rock in the suit for sure tomorrow. For sure.
You think?
100%. And then like all of us have been saying, they're 1000% bringing Henry Cavill in that Zoom chat to blow people's minds. 1000%.
Well, yeah, just 3 days ago, I said, it's my DC dream that Ben Affleck comes back as Batman. It'll never happen. And look where we are. I mean, we'll see how much, but still, it's happening. It's literally happening.
Funny. It's funny because I saw a post that made me think of Gio today. And it was a picture of Ben Affleck with Ana de Armas. And it said, this is only be happening because of her. And it was, and I was just like, did Gio post this? And then it wasn't. So I was like,
yeah.
I mean, hey, he's a personal friend of James Gunn. I would not
saying that.
I would not put that past James Gunn.
That's crazy.
I think people would rebel if they kill him off within.
I can't wait to see that trailer, that Suicide Squad trailer. I am so pumped to see that trailer.
So
and I don't know if you guys saw, but on Twitter today, James Gunn said that nobody, not a single person, has guessed who Idris Elba is playing. Out of all the people.
Wow.
Out of all the characters people have thrown out there, he literally said not a single person has guessed who he's playing.
So that crosses out Bronze Tiger.
That's
interesting.
interesting.
Very interesting.
If you believe him. Like he still swears to this day that there is an Easter egg in Guardians of the Galaxy that no one has noticed yet. And that's we're talking 6 years ago, but Reddit has been all over this. Like someone's figured it out, and he just won't say. I think so. This could be a Star Trek Into Darkness situation where they're like Benedict Cumberbatch. He's not Khan. He's not Khan. Okay, yeah, he's Khan. Like so, we don't know. I think he might be right, but we'll see. I'll wait till the movie comes.
It's a good point. Hey, it's a good point. Maybe he's just playing coy with everybody.
Yeah. Star Drew, I know Jake, you don't like when I look at the comments, but didn't they say?
No, I don't like. You're fine. Look, like it's when you're talking, you get distracted by the comments.
Yeah, because I like talking to people. Star Drew, didn't they already say he's Well, it wasn't official, but they pretty much nailed that he was Gio. What's the name of his character? The guy that he's like that guy that
John, you're talking about John Cena, right?
Yes, he's like
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker, that's it.
Peacemaker.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
His character is Peacemaker. That's who he's playing.
Yes, Peacemaker was the character.
I'm also, I don't know about you guys, but I'm also really excited to get a first look at Polka Dot Man. That's gonna be awesome.
Did you see in the trailer he was wearing like a polka dot?
Yeah, he was wearing a polka dot suit. Yeah, David Dastmalchian, who kills it in the Ant-Man movies. Obviously, he's a James Gunn regular. I'm stoked. Polka Dot Man, that's so cool.
I think I'm curious to see. I don't know his name, but the German actor from Pitch Perfect. What is his name in this? He's at the very end of the DC Fandom trailer. He always is like this outlandish.
Flula Borg. That's his name. Flula Borg.
Sure. He's hilarious. I cannot wait. I'm so excited for the Suicide Squad trailer. I think it's going to be hilarious. And I guarantee you they're going to kill off, what's his name? Oh God.
Several people.
In the trailer, though?
No, not in the trailer.
Okay.
What is the guy that just made that movie? The King of Staten Island.
Pete Davidson.
Oh, Pete Davidson.
They're gonna kill him off.
Oh, is
so
he
ridiculously?
He's in the movie. Yeah.
Literally,
Interesting.
I feel like I keep looking at the cast and finding a new person every single time. Even Taika Waititi, I learned like 2 days ago that
who
he's in
wouldn't agree if James Gunn calls you and says, "Hey, do you want to be in this movie?" Who wouldn't say yes? Unless they're like saving to be in a bigger DC role or something like that.
Yeah. I'm excited. I think this is gonna. It's funny because I mean, Gio, you were the most excited, but the closer I've been getting, the more I'm actually kind of like legitly like excited for it. I'm really curious.
Doing a good job.
They are. I will give them that props. They are doing a very good job at getting people hyped for this.
I'll say one last thing before we move on. I did something that I never thought I would do today, but I wanted to make sure that my expectations were extremely, extremely low. That way tomorrow could be a lot of fun. I watched Justice League today. FYI.
Ah, there we go. That'll do it.
I won't comment on that.
That will do it. All right. So probably our favorite thing about doing this show is interacting with the viewers. We love it. So Brian, why don't you tell them how they could do that more?
You can literally do many of things. You can leave comments. You can what?
Nothing.
No, now I'm not going to do it now. Now you make me mad. Shaking your head. Go ahead. No, I have control. Send it back to you.
This is
Here.
gold.
Oops. There. Go. You do it.
This is gold. Well, basically, it's kind of self-explanatory, right? You can like our videos. You can comment on our videos. You could subscribe to this YouTube channel. And you could also find our podcast platforms and subscribe, like, and comment those, just like Gio was talking about earlier. And we just reached 4,200 subscribers. That is crazy, guys. We've come a long way.
Wow.
Very long way. And that is amazing. We're trying to get to 4,500. That is our next goal. So spread the word, share with your friends. Retweet our videos. We would love it. And especially if you know people who are excited about this DC fandom, point them in our direction. If they want to get, like, I don't know a lot of YouTube channels that are just doing live coverage like that. I'm sure people are reacting to stuff and doing it like that. But yeah, point them in our direction if they want to see some live reactions and coverage of that. And please thumbs up our videos. We would really appreciate that. And of course, join this live shows and comment. That is always fun as well. So we haven't mentioned our main topic yet, also, and that is ranking the Russell Crowe films. One of the, in my opinion, one of the greatest actors of all time, especially of this generation, I would say, and one of the most celebrated. I mean, he was at the top of movie world fandom at one point, and he's still one of the most recognizable names. And we're celebrating Russell Crowe as an actor and as a place in Hollywood because his new movie Unhinged is out, but we can't really watch it easily. We might have there's one way, going to the drive-ins, which I wasn't able to do last night before we did this show. But I will say, and I'll talk about it when I go over movies, I just watched one of his movies today, and I'm very glad I did. But yes, so we did our personal lists. We submitted them to Jake. He added them up to build our normal Apocaflix consensus lists with the point system and everything. So, Jake, why don't you tell them a little bit more about how that goes?
Yeah, so the way this is going to work is that we're just going to go around the horn here and reveal our personal lists. And because all of us have seen maybe all of them, some of them, not many. We don't have an exact number on what the ranking is. Some of us will be like a top 7, others will be an actual top 10. And the way our point system works is that we just add them up, and the number 1 movie on the list gets 10 points. And then it goes down from there. Second gets 9, third gets 8, etc., etc. And with the highest points down, it's just an ascending order. So I don't know which order you want to do this in, Jacob. If you want to shoot it off to someone to announce their official personal list for Russell Crowe, that is on you. But we'll announce the consensus list afterwards, and we'll get into that a little bit more as far as a deep dive. So
okay. Let's start with Keith, man. If we don't have 10, are we just saying the ones we do have?
Yes.
Okay. So let's start with Keith. His personal Russell Crowe rankings list.
All right. So my number 10 is a pretty good movie. I just saw it the one time, but it's pretty good. The Next 3 Days, directed by Paul Haggis. My number 9 is a movie I highly recommend. It's a great sports movie if you guys haven't seen it. My number 9 is Mystery Alaska. Number 8 is Man of Steel. My number 7 is The Nice Guys. I try to get that higher, but I love Nice Guys. My number 6 is The Insider, which is awesome. If you guys haven't seen that, I highly recommend that. My number 5, LA Confidential, also highly recommended. My number 4, all these wrestling ones are highly recommended. I'm not gonna say that anymore. My number 4 is Master and Commander. It's a movie I love. I wish they make a sequel to, but they haven't. Probably won't. My number 3, great James Mangold. 3:10 to Yuma. Number 2 is Gladiator. My number 1 is American Gangster.
Nice. That is a solid list. Some movies I haven't seen are on there. Let's go to you next, Jake.
Real quick, but actually, before we move on, Anthony he's been shooting something in the comments here for a little bit that we got to get to. Just a little detour here. He had put this during our DC fandom discussion. He wanted to make sure this was mentioned. His cast for a Justice League movie. So he has Matt Reeves, Batman, Robert Pattinson, Matt Bomer as Green Lantern, John Boyega as Martian Manhunter, and then Liam Hemsworth as Green Arrow, which would be very, very interesting. And then he added Jennifer Lawrence as Huntress and Saoirse Ronan as Power Girl.
So yeah, he mentioned this last time about them doing a separate Justice League with Robert Pattinson's Batman, and like it's a separate universe. And he asked us who we'd want to cast, and we basically just said, do the same DCEU cast, and with Flashpoint, you mix it all up, and it's still Gal Gadot and Jason Momoa. And even if you said somehow that's the younger version of Ben Affleck, Jason Momoa and Wonder Woman, they would kind of look the same, right? I mean, they don't really age once they get to adulthood. So, I mean, it could work. Yeah. But is Matt Bomer, is he in Doom Patrol?
Yeah, he plays the invisible guy.
Okay, I like him a lot. So yeah, I like that cast. If they announced that cast, I wouldn't be mad.
All right, back to me.
Well, we have Huntress, so that one would have to be a different.
Yeah, right.
Jennifer Lawrence would have to be okay taking a back seat, which I don't know if she is.
That's very true.
Yeah, that's the only one. I love Jennifer Lawrence, but that's the only one where I was like, she probably wouldn't fit in that scenario.
I kind of
For
do
sure.
dig the John Boyega as Martian Manhunter.
He's a little boyish, though. I don't know. Like, I mean, there's a clear contrast between him and Harry Lennox, you know, who, I don't know. Not to take anything away from Boyega. Guy's a very talented actor. I love him. He's great, but,
Well,
I don't know. Like, as a general, I don't know.
that's fair, but there's a big contrast between Affleck and Pattinson too. So it's kind of like you're kind of looking at the same thing. So I think he could.
Yeah, if you said that he was
the
the younger version of him, then that's
right.
possible for sure. And even I forget the actor who plays him on Supergirl, which I love him. He might be the best part of Supergirl overall.
He is really good.
Is the Martian Manhunter character on that, so he's great too. All right, so let's get back to our Russell Crowe list, and I kind of wanted to go like this with the list. So let's go to Jake, Brian, Gio, and then myself.
All right, so mine, number 10, I have the Ridley Scott Robin Hood. Number 9, I have Body of Lies. Number 8, Man of Steel. 7, American Gangster. 6, Cinderella Man. 5, Master and Commander. 4, LA Confidential. 3, The Nice Guys. 2, 3:10 to Yuma. And number 1 is Gladiator.
That's a solid list. Brian?
So I'm on the lower end of seeing these his movies. I've seen 6. Number 6, I have The Mummy. Number 5, I have The Nice Guys.
Whoa.
Number 4, I have Man of Steel. Number 3, I have Boy Erased. Number 2, I have A Beautiful Mind. And number 1, I have Gladiator.
Oh, I forgot about A Beautiful Mind.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised I haven't heard. Jake, did you say it in yours?
Say what?
A Beautiful Mind?
I've never seen it.
Adding it to the list.
Oh,
as
wow.
we speak. Yes, I found a movie I've seen that
We
Jake
got to add
hasn't.
movies to the list right away, or else we're gonna forget.
Yeah.
So
I'm
as
gonna
soon
do
as they come up,
Jake?
add them to the list.
Jake, you'll like that movie. You would actually really like that. That's a movie you'd like.
I actually had to watch that for health class
In school. Yeah,
in
I
school.
did too.
So yeah, I can't believe I get to add a movie to the list for Jake. I only had like 1 left. So that works out
Drew,
perfect.
guess what? We all have movies that we like that a lot of people hate. Okay? Okay?
Oh man.
I haven't even heard of this Quick and the Dead. Sorry.
Quick and the Dead.
All right.
Meh.
Yeah, Gio, what's your list, man?
My borderline respectable list. I only have 7 movies, unfortunately. Number 7 is Robin Hood. Number 6 is The Mummy. Number 5 is American Gangster. Number 4 is The Nice Guys. Number 3 is Man of Steel, which did not have too much Russell Crowe in there. Number 2 is 3:10 to Yuma. And number 1 is Gladiator.
Nice. I'm glad. Obviously, Gladiator's high up there. Speaking of that, Gio, so this is how I kind of see it. I was wondering when I was putting my list together, when I think of a Russell Crowe movie, I'm thinking, okay, movie that he's in a lot. So I may think Man of Steel is a better movie than some of these, but I don't I consider movies that I put higher than it more of a Russell Crowe movie.
That's why Man of Steel is
In a
not
way.
number 1. But yeah, I agree with you.
Does that make sense to you guys, or no? Does it?
It does.
Even if he had a
It's not.
cameo,
It's not a Russell Crowe movie.
like let's say, just for example, let's say he had a cameo in The Godfather, right? Just like a 2-minute, like 1 minute cameo. Would you put Godfather number 1 as a Russell Crowe movie? I don't think so. So
That's fair.
But
That's
you also
how I
you
kinda
have to
see it.
consider the role he's playing. You got to consider
Yeah,
the
that's
role.
what I
he's
was
playing.
thinking.
He's playing Jor-El. He's playing Jor-El.
yeah,
Like,
no,
he's playing a
I
pretty big
agree.
part.
I agree. But like if he was starring in Man of
small
Steel,
role.
I feel like I would have it higher. You know, it's different.
I mean,
But,
he plays a pivotal
Anthony Hopkins
role.
is barely in Silence of the Lambs. Yeah, Anthony Hopkins is only in Silence of the Lambs for like 15 minutes. All right, but when
That's
you think
true.
about Silence of the Lambs, you kind of think about him, and he won the Oscar for it as well. So It's
That's
a
a
pretty
good
big
point.
part. So I see what you're saying,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I think it's a debate to be had. Okay, so
Yeah.
I also only have 7 movies, and my 7th one, I
Keith,
literally
what is wrong with these people? Keith, what the hell, man?
I'm saying,
What's wrong with
guys,
everybody?
what
I
are y'all
was
doing?
shocked when I put my list together, and I only had 6 until I watched the movie today. But I was shocked, honestly, because I thought I'd seen way more Russell Crowe movies, but I guess I haven't. So when I sent in the list, I literally put bad, not deserved to be ranked, and this was number 7, The Mummy. And then so I have at number 6, I have
You
A
didn't have
Beautiful
to put it
Mind.
on there. I mean,
Yeah, number 6 through 1 are all great movies. Number 6, A Beautiful Mind. Number 5, Man of Steel. Number 4, Gladiator. Number 3, which I just watched today and I absolutely love it so much, is LA Confidential.
Woo!
Number 2 is The Nice Guys, and number 1 is 3:10 to Yuma. My boy James Mangold coming in hot with that movie. But I just watched LA Confidential today. It is incredible, and I couldn't put it.
Yes.
It could be my number 1, to be honest, but I just need more time to think about it. But that movie, I understand why it's so loved. And Kim Basinger, anybody? She's very gorgeous in that film. And always. But yes, so that's my list. All right, Jake. So why don't you reveal the consensus list?
Okay, so I'll go ahead and start with the ones that didn't make the list. So this is 16 through 11, and the way we do this is we do our personal top 10s, and then we create an official top 5. And so 6 through 10 will be the official honorable mentions. These ones I'm going to go through very quickly are the ones that didn't actually make the list. And this is The Next 3 Days, Body of Lies, Mystery Alaska, The Insider, Cinderella Man, and Robin Hood. Those are the ones that didn't make the actual list. And so starting out with number 10, cracking that spot is Boy Erased from Brian, coming in at number 3 for him with 8 points. Cracking that spot solely because of Brian. So there is a number 10 spot. Brian, you want to say anything about Boy Erased?
Yeah, it's a hard movie to watch, but it's so good. It's got Nicole Kidman and Russell Crowe, and I'm forgetting the lead character's name.
Lucas Hedges.
Yes, and it's and Joel Edgerton too. And it's about a very like not Republican, but they're like conservative family, conservative Christian family, and the son is gay, and they send him to a gay conversion camp. And Joel Edgerton is the leader of the camp, and Nicole Kidman is the mom, and the dad is Russell Crowe, and the dad is actually a minister. So it's a true story too. Yeah, it's a intense movie.
Yeah, I've actually never heard of that one. That's interesting. But can we get Rachel's most recent comment on here? What are you talking about? 3:10 to Yuma is very high on our list, Rachel. What are you talking about?
I've never seen it, so
great. It could have been my number 1. Probably should have been, but anyway.
Yeah, it's a really, really good movie.
That movie's awesome.
Just in case anybody wants to watch Boy Race, it is available on Amazon, I believe.
It's a newer movie, right?
Yeah, it came out the last few years. Yeah,
yeah, I want to say like 2018. It was very small. Like it was played at Tower, so that's why it wasn't like everywhere. So
nice. Did you go there and watch it?
I don't think so. I think I waited till it was out and watched it at home. But yeah, it was wild movie, really sad, but really good movie.
All right, well, moving on to our number 9 is probably a movie that doesn't deserve to be on this list, and that is The Mummy. Thanks to Gio and Brian, because they haven't seen enough Russell Crowe movies.
No, me too. We just shouldn't have ranked it.
It came in with 10 points, and that was because of Gio and Brian. So I'll shoot this one to Gio. Thoughts on The Mummy, sir?
Well, look, okay, if you guys just leave your brain at the door and go in with the popcorn, it's Tom Cruise doing some impressive action sequences, which is, not really a surprise. The sequence where he's in the plane and they're going all around, like I think it's called G-Force or Zero Force or something like that.
Zero gravity.
Zero Gravity, that's freaking awesome. And Sophia Boutella, even though the script wasn't great, she is amazing as the mummy. She always does good in the roles that she is given, even if the material isn't as good. So there are things to like about the mummy, and there are little Easter eggs throughout that unfortunately didn't go anywhere because the mummy didn't go anywhere. But still, if you just leave your brain at the door and go in and just like, okay, I just want to watch a movie. I'll even throw it on in the background while I'm folding laundry. It serves its purpose.
Yeah. You know what?
We saw this.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think we all three saw it. Yeah, but go ahead, Keith.
The three of us saw it. Yes. That's exactly what I was going to say. And I sat next to Gio, and boy, you were huffing and puffing that whole movie. You did not like I've never sat with someone who did not like a movie as much as you just liked the Mummy that day.
Well, because the universe had so much promise. It did.
Yeah.
And
I think we were very excited for that movie. So Gio did have the Mummy above Robin Hood.
I kind of agree with you, Gio. It was kind of like it wasn't horrible. I'm
trying to make a case for why it's on the list.
No, it should be on the list. I'm sure it would probably be at if you guys had seen Boy Erased, it'd probably be higher than that.
Cinderella Man or Beautiful Mind. I probably would have had those up there.
Cinderella Man deserves to be on this list so much more than the Mummy.
It does.
Yeah, so I think from now on, if a movie's bad, if I don't think the movie should be ranked, I'm just gonna leave it off the list from now on when I do my rankings. So I should have just submitted 6 movies. But
he played Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
So that's
right?
what I was gonna mention. So here's the thing. Actually, the Mummy, the whole movie is not terrible. It's not like terrible. It's not Independence Day Resurgence.
Look, and now he's jumping onto our bandwagon, Gio.
But look, no, I'm serious. But here's the thing. We're ranking Russell Crowe movies, right? So when I think of this movie when I'm making this list, I think of Russell Crowe in this movie. And his character was one of the worst parts of this movie. I think the way they handled Jekyll and Hyde in this movie, and then the Jake Johnson, who I love Jake Johnson, but his character did not fit in this movie at all. I think those two things made this movie worse. The Tom Cruise stuff, the Sophia Boutella stuff was actually not bad, but the Russell Crowe part of this movie was terrible. So that's why it's like when we're doing this list, it ends up really low, but it shouldn't even be on in the top 10.
Anthony, we'll get to your list after we reveal the honorable mentions. So just hang tight, bud. Hang tight. Okay, moving on to number 8. And this is thanks to Keith and myself for this one. Coming in at 13 points at number 8 is Master and Commander, a very, very underrated film. Keith, I'll let you take this one, man. Master and Commander, thoughts? This thing is beautiful, right?
This movie is spectacular, man. It just no one saw it, unfortunately. So it's one of those ones where it's based on a series of books. There's like 20 books in this series, so I know they were planning on this being a big franchise, like coming off of the Pirates films and stuff. Thought these big sea epics was going to be a thing. Unfortunately, the crowds just weren't there to go see it, but the critics loved it. It was very well regarded amongst the critics and people that actually saw it. But yeah, man, you got Russell Crowe, you got
Paul Bettany.
Paul Bettany, yeah, sorry. Who's great. The ending is awesome. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's one of those ones you got to stick with this movie all the way through. And the sea battles are great. There's a lot of cat and mouse play between the two ships, and it's really, really good. I mean, I couldn't recommend this movie enough.
Keith, you want to know something funny? I've had this movie sitting in my DVD shelf for probably almost between 10 and 15 years because my mom's friend just gave me a bunch of movies and I've never watched it. It just sits in the same exact spot.
I would much rather them reboot this than do Pirates of the Caribbean. This is your ship movie right here. This is what you do.
Yeah, I'd rather see a sequel, but I wouldn't mind.
I agree.
think the
Is
cast
that
great.
a 20th Century Fox movie? Master and
look.
Commander.
I'll say this though, it also kind of ties into real world history too, because Keith, mistake me if I'm wrong, but they discover the Galapagos Islands in the movie, correct?
Yes. Yep. There was a crew that I can't remember. I know it's the HMS Surprise is the name of the ship, and yes, and there was a big Floriana Island and all that stuff that's around that area, and which is still active today. It's like a big resort island and stuff. But that's a big part of the story as well. Yes.
It's a Universal film, by the way.
Oh, okay. No, I was just wondering because
Okay.
I thought you were saying like Disney should. This is the movie they should be making.
Oh
instead of
no,
Pirate.
just in general, like just in general.
yeah.
We don't get enough of these.
No,
these
I agree.
at-sea
Yeah.
films.
Yeah.
I'm laughing. at
All right.
Brett.
I'll go ahead and move on to number 7. And this is a film thanks to Mr. Brian and Jacob. And that is A Beautiful Mind, coming in with 14 points. Jacob, I'll go to you on this one. A Beautiful Mind.
Yeah, this movie, man, it's a great film, but it's also kind of trippy in a way. It has to do with mental health, and it's kind of like a psychological thriller
Well, he has schizophrenia.
as well as like a biopic type thing. And it's Russell Crowe is fantastic in it. And I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but like the thriller aspect of it is amazing. It's really incredible. And it's one of those movies that keeps you on the edge of your seat during certain scenes. So this is one Russell, even though I have it number 6, like I love all my 1 through 6. And this movie, I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
It has
So
kind of a less than. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh, just really quick. I was gonna say, yeah, for me, I liked it. It looks really great. The second half of the film is a little kind of anticlimactic for me. That's the only reason I didn't put it on my list. It is very good. Ron Howard, I think, directed this one.
Yes.
The cast is great. Is Paul Bettany's in this one too, right? Isn't he also in
Yes,
that?
he is. Yeah.
Yeah. So like you said, without spoiling, but yeah, it's a good movie. Probably should be on this list.
It's. I mean, probably yeah. I mean, it won Best Picture and Best Supporting Actress for Jennifer Connelly, Best Director, and Best Writing for Adapted Screenplay. So, it's definitely a great movie. But yes, 2001. God, that came out a lot longer.
Yeah, he was babyface still.
Yeah.
All right. Well, getting into number 6 here, our final movie on the honorable mentions before we get to our official list. And this is thanks to Gio, myself, and Keith. And that is the classic American gangster film with Denzel Washington. Gio and Keith, I will defer to you two on this one, specifically because Keith actually challenged Gio to this one more recently. Thoughts on American Gangster and not actually cracking the top 5. Gio, why don't you go ahead and start?
This is one of Ridley Scott's best movies. Look, we know who Denzel is and what he brings to the big screen, but Russell Crowe is right there with him. Every scene that they were in, Russell Crowe, his character is, I mean, at times, he's not very likable, and that's just a testament to, his dedication to the role, and this is very much a movie that's carried by its two leads, for sure. I remember when Keith recommended it to me, and I've always wanted to watch it. When I finally did, it was just amazing. So, thank you again, Keith. Should have made the top 5.
Yeah, I agree. This is every one of this was. I think I had it at number 3. I don't remember what I had this one. I had it at number.
Keith, it was your number 1.
It's my number 1.
Yeah, it was your number 1.
Number 1. Yeah.
Is Russell
switched
Crowe
it.
like the second lead in the movie?
Yeah, Frank Lucas or Denzel is the main lead. Yeah.
Russell Crowe is
think they're
leading the
co-leads.
investigation going after
Okay.
Denzel Washington.
So they're kind of co-leads. Okay.
Yeah.
I think they're co-leads. I would kind of call them co-leads because yeah, they don't actually get together till well into the third act before they actually meet each other.
No,
yes,
at towards towards the end of the second act.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's about 2/3 through. It's a long time because it's a long movie, but
yeah,
agreed. One of Ridley Scott's best, probably his last really great one up until The Martian. To be honest.
Yeah,
I said up until but a big gap in between though. Big gap in between, but yeah, if you haven't seen this, I highly recommend it. A great cast, Josh Brolin in it. Yeah, he plays a really great role as well. But you're right, Gio. Russell Crowe plays a guy who's really he's a jerk. To be honest, he's not a really good guy, but he is on the right side of the law for the most part. And that back and forth between him and Denzel and him and the other police as well. It's really, really great. So yeah, highly recommend it.
Yeah.
This movie was which one? L.A. Confidential?
American Gangster.
American Gangster. Okay, never mind.
Okay, so now we're at the halfway point. Before we get to our official top 5, Anthony here has put in his Russell Crowe movies. So he's got Gladiator at number 1, State of Play at 2, 3:10 to Yuma at 3, Proof of Life at 4, The Insider at 5, American Gangster at 6, Beautiful Mind at 7, Cinderella Man at 8, Broken City at 9, and L.A. Confidential cracking the top 10. I will say State of Mind is definitely an underrated movie. I agree with him on that one. Maybe not that high, but it's definitely underrated.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Gladiator at number 1. You have 3:10 to Yuma at number 3, which I'm cool with that. I think L.A. Confidential should be higher, but again, I haven't seen some of those movies, so.
Proof of Life is okay. It's actually not that bad.
Brian, I understand your joke, by the way. I might be the only one, but I know what you're talking about. It's a joke from South Park where he just fights everyone around the world.
Oh, yeah, because I didn't get it. Yeah,
after he was getting in trouble with fighting and stuff like that.
So his real life, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get into our top 5, gentlemen. This is our official list of Russell Crowe's best movies, in our opinion, and beating American Gangster by just 1 point. By just 1 point, coming in with 21 points is L.A. Confidential. The classic film. I absolutely love this movie. I've only ever seen it once, and it was definitely more recent than closer to when it came out. I'll definitely have to revisit it, but Jacob, I'll defer to you since you actually checked it out today.
It's fresh in my mind, man. This, oh my goodness. This is a type of movie that I could see being on my favorite movies of all time list. It is so good. I was just, and I love, oh my goodness, what's his name? Guy from Iron Man 3. Guy
Pearce.
I called him Guy. Wow. I love Guy Pearce. He's so I know he was a big star at one point, but he's not somebody that we talk about enough. He's incredible in this movie. Their dynamic and relationship together is incredible. Kim Basinger is incredible. There's another actor that I don't want to mention is in this. The cast is amazing overall, especially for the time it came out. And I was reading about it. I guess Guy Pearce and Russell Crowe weren't big stars at this point. This movie kind of made them in a way.
1997.
So I totally could see that too. Because after this, oh my, how do you not just rave about these two guys? It's so, because I don't want to spoil anything. Has all of us seen it?
No.
Gio, you haven't seen it?
Oh, it was between that and Memento for which one?
Gio, you would love this movie, man. You really would. Just I'll say the journey that their characters take together is amazing. One of the best I've ever seen. Honestly, it's great.
Yep, agreed. Directed by the late great Curtis Hanson, who directed 8 Mile as well.
Yes, I didn't realize that he directed 8 Mile, which also has Kim Basinger in it.
Yeah, exactly right. So, yeah, man, this movie. I don't obviously we're not gonna spoil, but you get to the end and you're just geez, But Gio, I think both of you guys, Brian, you like it too, man. It's not
boring at all.
It's not slow.
Not
at all.
Boring for 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay, moving into number 4. Coming in with 27 points, so quite a jump. The first movie on our list that made all of our lists, and that is Man of Steel, the Superman film with Henry Cavill and Russell Crowe playing his Faja. Gio, I will defer to you on this one, sir. Man of Steel ranking in at number 4 on our official list.
Yeah, directed by Zack Snyder. Can't say enough things about Zack. He's incredible. But
Was it?
all right, if you think about it, Russell Crowe had to take on a role that was iconic, largely on screen from Marlon Brando, and that is no easy task. Russell Crowe, his Jor-El character, presented one type of idea of how Superman should be, whereas Kevin Costner's Pa Kent presented another idea, and I just loved the contrast between those two. Russell Crowe has a little bit of everything in this movie. I mean, the opening scene with the Civil War in Krypton and him just, showing off his action that he still had at that time in his fight against General Zod. And then later on, he just becomes pretty much a father figure that Clark Kent never met. And, just showing him who he was truly meant to be. Great movie, very, very standout role. Can't say enough things about Man of Steel.
Agreed.
I mean, I love the movie. Obviously, it is my favorite DCEU film. I mean, I don't think it's close.
Come on, Rachel, comment. Come on. You know who casted Russell Crowe as Jor-El?
I like it.
Snyder. Or the casting director. What's her name?
That I don't know.
Deborah Steiner.
All right. Well, if no other comments on Man of Steel, let's go ahead and break into our top 3 here. We haven't mentioned 3 movies, and I'm sure you guys all know what they are. But jumping in with 34 points, and so a hefty 7 points ahead of Man of Steel. At number 3 is one of the most underrated comedies of all time. That is The Nice Guys. Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling here from Shane Black. I feel like I should take this one.
Yes,
personally.
you definitely should.
I feel like I should take this one personally. I'll say this movie, depending on days that I watch it, it goes back and forth between this and Gladiator for Russell Crowe's best performance for me personally. I think he is so brilliant in this movie. Obviously, a lot of that comes from his chemistry with Ryan Gosling and them playing off of each other. Shane Black is at peak Shane Black here, getting back to his trademark signature style of filmmaking and writing. The movie flows so perfectly. They fit the roles so perfectly. He plays this brooding, PI that is going after stuff with brass knuckles and everything. And it's just such a great time. He looks like he's having fun. And so if you've never seen The Nice Guys, it's a movie that did not make a lot of money at the box office, which is an absolute shame. I highly, highly recommend checking it out because it is so fun. And if you're a fan of those, action comedies and, old school type of comedies, this one is in the 70s. It's based in the 70s, and it's perfect. It's so perfect. The storyline, speaking of Matt Bomer earlier, he's in the movie. We got our first appearance of Angourie Rice in the movie, playing in future Spider-Man movies. And so The Nice Guys, it's just a great fun adventure, especially with all the heavy movies that we get these days. This is definitely a nice little bright spot. So The Nice Guys coming at number 3.
Absolutely. Yeah, I
didn't like this movie.
She's Betty.
Oh
Betty
my
Brant,
goodness.
right? Betty Brant in Spider-Man.
She plays Betty Brant. Yeah.
Brian, are you serious?
Yeah, I was going to leave
Really?
it off my list.
Wow.
I don't know if I just was maybe not in the mood or something when I watched it, but I didn't find this movie funny at all.
I appreciate your honesty, but and honestly, it is a comedy, but I think it's like a crime comedy. I don't know a mystery comedy. I don't know. There's more to it than just, it's not a straight up comedy, I would say, but I think it's one of the best movies of the 2010s. Like I really do. And that's, but
I would agree.
I love your honesty, Brian, because I haven't heard anyone who doesn't like this movie, to be honest.
Yeah. That's maybe watch it again. Whenever you get around to it. Maybe
it's funny that you say that, Keith, because it is one of those movies that I've you just constantly hear people love, 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 and I'm like, maybe I should watch it again. Maybe it was me, but yeah. I just remember not liking it. So
listen, my number one, American Gangster. When I saw it in the theater, it was the same thing. I was just kind of like, it was okay. And then because I was in a different place at that time as well, I kind of was just not in a happy place. But watching it again, maybe 2-3 years ago, I'm like, this is one of the best movies I've ever seen. I don't know. So sometimes that happens, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. On to number 2 here. Interesting enough. Well, I guess not interesting enough. And I won't say that because it might ruin it. Only beating the Nice Guys by 2 points here, coming in with 36 points. And Jacob having it the highest at number 1. That is the James Mangold Western, 3:10 to Yuma, coming in at number 2 here. Jacob, you can go and start us off, man. 3:10 to Yuma. I mean, look, very respectable spot coming in at number 2.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And I think it probably has to do with most of us have seen it. Has Brian seen it?
He's the only one that has not.
Yeah,
yet.
so 4 of us have seen it, which is more than most of these movies. But yeah, I mean, it's James Mangold. This is, one of the movies I use in my defense of James Mangold as my favorite director working today. It is, I watched it I didn't watch it when it came out in theaters. I watched it a couple years, like 3 or 4 years ago. And I think, Gio, you actually pushed me to watch it.
Did we not watch it together?
No, I don't think we did. You had seen it already, and you pushed me to watch it. And I mean, Christian Bale, Russell Crowe, Logan Lerman is amazing in this movie.
Ben Foster.
Yeah, Ben Foster. And Russell Crowe is an amazing bad guy. That's a great director who can play the hero. He can play the soft guy. Yeah. He can play the a-hole. He can play the villain. Yeah. And I love this movie. I think Keith should talk about it too, though.
Listen, when I first started my list, I put this right away. It was number 1. And then I kind of went back and forth between my top 3 with Gladiator and American Gangster. But and only because I've only seen this movie twice. That's the only reason. I've seen the other 2 way more. That's the only reason I put it down at 3. But completely agree. It's a remake of an older Western.
One of the best remakes we've ever gotten.
Absolutely. Westerns are ones you can remake. I think this remake and the True Grit remake are one of the rare ones where they're actually better than the original. But yeah, dude, Christian Bale is so great in this film. Russell Crowe, obviously, and you mentioned Ben Foster and Jacob. The more we talk about it, I know we have this running thing, me, you, and Jake, with Mangold and Denis Villeneuve. But man, I tell you. You might be right, man. Every time I think about this, is one of the movies I think about.
No, Keith, just wait till Dune. I know. Just wait till Dune.
Wait, but I think when Keith remembers how he directed Walk the Line is what pushes it over the line.
Yeah, that always gets me. That and these 2 movies are the ones that always get me. But 3:10 to Yuma is great. Brian, I'm trying to decide if Brian would like this or not. I mean, it's a lot of action.
I can't remember. I always mix it up. There's like 3 movies that I mix up, when one of them's the one that you guys always tell me that I should watch, and it's one of these Western-y. It's like 3:10.
Hell or High Water, maybe.
Hell or High Water. I think maybe There Will Be Blood.
Yes, There Will Be Blood, Hell or High Water, 3:10 to Yuma, and I think True Grit's the one those 4 I always mix up. Which is the one you guys always tell me that I need to watch?
Hell or High Water is what we've always said.
I think so. Right. Yeah.
And I'll say this too. Before Hell or High Water came out, and it goes back and forth because I haven't seen 3:10 to Yuma in a while. In my entire lifespan, those are my 2 favorite Westerns, Hell or High Water and 3:10 to Yuma. Those are like untouchables to me. The movies are just absolutely brilliant. And like I said, I haven't seen 3:10 to Yuma in a very long time. And I'm definitely going to have to go back and watch it. But I remember having it on DVD and just checking it out and watching it. And Russell Crowe and Christian Bale, their dynamic together is just so good in this story of good guy and bad guy going on the run together. So yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not against it. And I wouldn't even argue if it came out at number 1, to be honest, either.
I was hoping it would, to be honest.
There's no way it would have been number one. There's no
I
way
know.
it would have been number one because there's only one movie that deserves to be number one. Are you not entertained? Are you
It's
not
best movie
entertained?
by far?
That should have been your nickname for when you came in.
And that is the great Gladiator. And here's the catch, boys. It beat everything. It beat number 2 spot by 10 points.
Wow.
It beat 310 to Yuma by 10 points.
I mean, we all had it really high.
a clear number 1 here for Gladiator, the Ridley Scott film.
Who were the
Just-
number ones, if you don't mind me asking?
I
know
myself,
I was.
Gio, and you all had it at number 1. Keith had it at 2, and Jacob had it at number 4.
Jacob!
I love it, but look at my top 4, man. It's stacked.
This is a good time to say that my Gladiator pop figure's on its way.
Oh my god, they have one for everything. Don't
So look, Gladiator, this movie is just pure entertainment. And it goes back to that line, are you not entertained? It is just, I remember, and there's also a nostalgia factor here for me because I used to watch this movie with my dad growing up a lot, and he actually taught me when I was younger, when I used to go up to bat, I would rub dirt in my hands like Maximus would.
Nice.
And so there's a big nostalgia factor here for me. But Russell Crowe, Djimon Hounsou, Joaquin Phoenix, and I'm forgetting her name, Connie Nielsen, who plays Hippolyta for the DC movies. I mean, the cast is incredible. The story is just remarkable. The comeback story being this general high up, going down to the lowest of the lows and finding his way back. And obviously that ending is just absolutely beautiful. So I didn't think that there was any way it would be beaten at number 1. And so I'm very happy that it does end up at number 1.
Who will help me carry him? Oh man.
Oh yeah. Good. It's a great moment. Great moment.
The sword
Dumbledore
fighting in this movie, the costumes, the cinematography, everything. Man,
Hans Zimmer. The score.
Is it the masterpiece of swords and sandals?
I mean,
For me, it is. I mean, it's my number 3 movie of all time. I just looked at my rankings. It's my number 3 movie of all time.
How can you argue? I definitely modern because people could argue older films, but I would say so. I mean, for us and our, the era we are in, yeah.
This
was.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I know this stupid lag on my internet. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
But,
go ahead, Keith.
You're fine.
I saw this in a theater. I think maybe a week later because I don't know, whatever. I don't know why. But to me, the star of this movie is just for me. Russell Crowe's awesome. All the accolades. None of you are wrong about, but Joaquin Phoenix is the star of this movie, man.
I 100% agree with you.
Man, he's
I have no problem with
almost sympathetic. He's almost sympathetic, but not really because he's a horrible person. But there's a lot of points of the movie where you're like, he's kind of right. As far as his direction for the nation, or for the empire, I should say. But I mean, Russell Crowe is like he's such a, I don't want to sound, it sounds kind of sexist. I don't mean to say, but it's a very manly role for him. Like he's just like this is the toughest tough guy role I think he's played. Even maybe this in 310 to Yuma, where he's like this ultimate tough guy. But he's the classic reluctant hero, and it's because like the whole movie, like he doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to be doing any of this, and he's lost everything he'd loved. And yeah, this is a classic movie if there ever is one. And just everything you said is right, man. I love this movie. Love it.
Man, he's worked with Ridley Scott a lot, huh? At least on 3 films.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an all-time great. It really is. I mean, what more can we say about it? I remember watching it as a kid too, and it's very violent, and it sticks to our theme that Rachel always gives us crap about. I guess we love violent movies. I don't know here at Apocaflix Movies.
Yeah.
True.
It fits the theme. It fits the theme.
Yeah.
This was my first rated R movie I ever got to watch. So, I convinced my it was my dad. I convinced my dad because I want to say I was in like 8th grade ish, and I was like, we're learning about Romans and stuff. Like, this is such a good thing. All right, fine. And boy, was this a good one to start with. That
I will never forget the picture of him sobbing over burned bodies.
Yes.
That is just
always remember
it is just so hard.
And the arena scenes.
It's a rough movie. Like,
I'm gonna go watch Gladiator. Sorry guys, I'm gonna go watch Gladiator.
I want to watch it too. Any last thoughts, guys?
Let me run through the list one more time before we get out of here. So from our honorable mentions 10 through 6, we have Boy Erased, The Mummy, Master and Commander, A Beautiful Mind, and American Gangster. And then our official top 5 list, starting out with number 5, we have LA Confidential. Number 4, Man of Steel. Number 3, The Nice Guys. Number 2, 3:10 to Yuma. And number 1 is Gladiator.
That is a fantastic list. I need to go catch up on some Russell Crowe movies. I need to watch what's it called? Cinderella Man. I heard is amazing.
I just watched Cinderella Man today. That's one of the best sports movies ever.
Nice.
Keith, you're wrong.
Listen,
you're wrong.
It's a good movie. It's just quite historically inaccurate. If you
it's a movie. Who cares?
Yeah. Hey, I do want to say shout out to Laura Kennedy and Christy Carlson. They are the casting directors of Man of Steel. We always talk about that, and I just want to give them a shout out because they do fantastic work. Just want to say. But speaking of that, we're going to be covering DC Fandom tomorrow. Gio's the guy. He's going to be leading the way. We're here to follow, and it's going to be a blast. We're all going to be popping in on all these panels. Don't forget to check us out tomorrow live. I'm sure with all the times you can find some time in your day to come check us out. So we would greatly appreciate it. And of course, we're going to cover it all in depth on Tuesday Newsday, this upcoming Tuesday. Thank you all for watching. For Jacob, for Gio, for Keith, for Brian and Jake, we will see you all next time.